What is up? Good morning. It is Monday. It is 6:33. Was actually working with some of my algos, setting alerts, and lost a little bit of track of the time. I hope everybody is having a good morning. We're going to jump straight into the content here. I have a chart left over. I'm going to share right now on the screen. And this is left over from my last show on Bitcoin and what I think is going to happen. And I drew this. Oops, let me undo that. I drew this right here, this area where you see this arrow start to head up. Let me get an arrow out to help describe that, to point that out. I just, when things are so accurately depicted, I always think it's wise to show that, to show how accurate it was, because when you understand the power of charting and algos, look at this right here. Right at the beginning of that arrow going up, I drew that at that time. And price has followed exactly that. And this has been over a number of days. It's been over the weekend, right? So let me see. I did this show on Friday. So this would be back to about here, actually. So yeah, that's there it is for you, let's see here. It's 26. Yeah. So yeah, pretty accurate. Just, price basically ranging. There was a pop-up. There was a good strong pop-up last week at the end of the week. Price came down through this consolidation, this 2-month consolidation that we've always had our eye on. And then it grabbed some liquidity off of this prior consolidation. So it stopped right here. And then it popped back up into this consolidation. So price usually wants to go where it has spent time before. That's how that works, right? Good morning, Truckface. Thank you for joining. So that's, you just have some clues as to where price is going to go in the future based on where price has gone in the past. And anytime you can take a correct guess, or let's just say you can estimate where price is going to go in the future, that's when you can make money, right? So that's the power that we have using algorithms and, quite frankly, just price action. I didn't even need the algos for this. Like, it helped. The algos always help. And sometimes I look more at the algorithm than I do at the price action. But in this case, the price action was pretty clear, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab the show link. I'm going to put that link in a couple of different channels. Let me throw this out there so people can join. And then we will move forward. Now, if you're watching, even if you're not an Algo Factory member, feel free to ask questions. If you have like a chart you want to see, anything like that, because we're happy to do a chart for you, whether it's cryptocurrency or stocks or anything like that. Now, nothing we say is it's not investment advice. It's not to be used or construed as investment advice, right? So we want to make sure that we understand that. But you got to do your own research and talk to your licensed investment advisor and all that fancy stuff there. But if your research looks like mine, then more often than not, there are opportunities to make money, right? Okay, so looks like we had an alert on the beast. We're going to look at that really quick, see if there are any opportunities. I've got my latest version of the algorithm running. This is an early release here. I gotta fix those alarms though. Those alarms keep like going off a little bit too much. Okay, where is the alarm? I don't see the alarm. I don't see the alert on the chart. So I see here, this is the beast, GBP, JPY, 5 minute, but I don't see it on the chart. Okay, so this must be going off before the candle is closed. So what are open-ended alert, fill function call? Okay, so what you're looking at are some options I have built in for how these alerts happen. I'll have to talk to my coder about that because it looks like the alert popped on and off. It looks like it actually happened at the, during the middle of the candle, and then it disappeared. It's like, these alerts that are not supposed to repaint. So this is why I have these running for testing. You can see one of the alerts here, this yellow tab. We're going to make those bigger. And of course, that's where the trade would have closed on the way down. This is beautiful look right here. This trade right here. Entry was here. Stop loss would have been 1.5 times, so 0.0606, about 7 pips from entry. 14.7 is about 21. So the stop loss would have been right about here. So this trade would have been automatically entered by my system, and my exits would have been right here, there, and there. So taking it back to here, here, and of course right here at the bottom. That would have been my exit. So, and I do have the ability to customize where these exit, right? So I had them code in, for example, here's my stop loss and take profits using dynamic stop losses using ATRs. So because this is meant to be coded so that I can actually code this and put it into my indicator, and meaning that it can automatically trade for me, right? So we are going to release this as an indicator for people to purchase. If you are a member of Algo Factory, that is going to be to you half off, 50% off, to have monthly access to a number of indicators. This is just the the current version. Well, yeah, look, see, there's a long entry. I don't see the actual indicator on the bottom here. That's really odd. So I'm gonna have to talk to the coder about this, but it looks like this would have been a long entry right here. So if I were to enter, it would be right here. Let's get my long box out. And the ATR is currently at 6.7. So this would be, what's about 11 pips or so from the entry would be the stop loss. So we're looking at 464, 187.64. So this would be the stop loss. Now the beast, the GBP JPY has a little bit wider of a spread, and I have programmed into this, not yet, but it's in the middle of being programmed, a minimum spread or a maximum spread. So if the spread goes over a certain amount, then the trade simply doesn't happen, right? So, and I usually don't trade before the Monday open. Not usually. I might take some trades in a Sunday, like a light kind of Sunday trading scenario. That does happen, but usually before market open on Monday is a little bit risky. The market doesn't move how you normally would expect it to. The Monday New York stock market open hasn't happened yet, so that's kind of a kind of something to watch out for. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, all my alerts are going off. I'm gonna have to pause them for the show, I'm afraid, or do something about it. I think for the if I have all these alerts going off, I probably have to put my trading station on a different computer. Which probably is going to happen. So, but I did want to run these tests, see how this trade is going. Yeah, I mean it's a legit trade. Let's see. I'm going to take a test trade on it. So I'm going to go to my trade station and open up. Give me 1 second. And then my first will be, let me see how I have my setups. See, what's weird is that the indicator itself didn't exist, this little yellow dot. So I want to see what's going on with the input settings. And this is just the kind of work that I do. I have my own indicator. I manually test it. And then if you've been watching Twitter, then you'll notice that I've been working on this like all weekend. I actually manually tested this thing, right? So there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes. I mean, I have it automatically back tested using the trading view strategy tester, but those numbers they're always going to look better than reality. Um, if you just look at the strategy tester for this, it's going to say that I've got a 90% profitable, which that's realistic, but it's actually a little bit, it's going to be higher than normal because there are a lot of micro trades like this one right here. I'm not seeing the actual indicator. This looks like some micro trade that would have been entered that normally would not have been entered. I'm going to have to talk to the coder about that. But the actual profit amount, that's not real. The profit factor, now that is probably, again, that's going to be generous. This is saying that the risk to reward ratio on these is going to be like 11-1. And that's, I mean, in some cases going to be true, but I think it's not quite that good. I think it's probably half that, but still 5-6-1. If that's realistic, that's killer. But what I've done is I went ahead and limited the amount of profit that gets taken just based on ATRs. So you're probably never going to you'll rarely see anything like a 10 or 11-1. The conditions that line up for that are just not there. So, this strategy tester that comes with TradingView, it's good because you can compare, say, like one algo to another, or you can compare, say, the same algo on one, stock or one currency pair to a different currency pair. Like how does this one do on Bitcoin? How does this one do on Ethereum? Like that's what that's good for, comparing them to each other. But the actual outcome of the strategy on here is not realistic. It's going to be like the percent profitable is going to be a bit higher than normal, and the profit factor is going to be, it depends on the situation. It could be accurate, not accurate. It could be actually below accurate or above accurate. It just depends on how you're coding. That's why I went ahead, and anybody who was watching Twitter, you saw me manually testing all this stuff over the weekend. So, but if I were to have profit targets on this, let me see, I got 1.5, 2.5, 3.5. So the first target would be right here. And then the next two targets would be, let's put this actually here. Next two targets would be something like up, I'm not doing it precisely, but it would be something like here and then maybe here. So, but you can see the trade actually looks pretty good. It's holding, and it would make sense based on the price action. So let me go ahead and enter a test trade. Stop loss of 187.64. Okay, oops. 187.64 for a small amount, a very small amount of money. Take profit would be at, we'll say, 187.96. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing here. I'm going to shut all these alerts off once I'm done with this test trade, because these alerts are going to drive me absolutely bonkers. Okay, so where's my box? Oh, geez. These alerts are killing me. There we go. 187.64, 187.96. Okay, and we'll just take our risk here. Okay. The trade is on. Trade is a little higher than I expected because I was busy adjusting things. And then I'll manually take profit on these two here, because this is not, I haven't connected this to Pine Connector yet, because I trade over on Oanda. I trade on a US regulated exchange for Forex. So I use some methodology to connect these algos to my account to automatically trade. So today we'll be manually taking some targets. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and shut those alerts off, because they're going to drive me absolutely insane. And then once the show is over, I'll turn it back on. And we'll see how, except for these, let's restart these alerts. I'll make that a stop loss here. Let me take a look if they're see. Okay, good. Oh, Gorilla's waiting. Hello, Gorilla.
Man, I've been in this back room for God knows how long.
Well, you caught me while I was managing trades.
Fine. See.
We entered a trade based on the new algo here.
Oh.
So this is it's a weird entry though. It's like I don't okay, so the new algo, like you see this little yellow dots on the screen here on this top area.
Yeah.
Well, those little yellow dots are the algo pinging off, and then like the actual long and that's the strategy tester giving us the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the yellow dot did not materialize on this one, which is actually really strange. But that's fine. Whatever. It's a little. We're still coding. We're not done yet with it.
Got it.
We're but it's in its final stages. Like we're adding all kinds of cool stuff. Like for example, the yellow dot's going to get bigger. That's just aesthetic. But some of the things we're adding are related to like minimum spread. So, your trade's not going to happen if the spread is too high. So basically what a spread is, and for those who might be new to trading, is it's an order book spread. So the wider the spread, the more terrible your market entry is going to be. And so you want a tight spread between the buyers and the sellers. It just means there's not enough people in the market if the spread's really, really wide. So it's got a minimum spread. It's got a minimum ATR. So ATR basically is relative to your it's relative to your what do you call it, volatility. So you want enough volatility. If you don't have any volatility, prices are going to do anything, and usually the spreads are just too wide. So we're just putting in some safeguards, and it's all programmable. So if you look at if you open up the options to this thing, then you'll see that all your options are it's all you can set how much your take profits are. You got 3 different take profits. I base them on ATRs. Your short take profits, long take profits. This is all for connecting to your broker, right? And of course, you have your properties, so you can do your order size, permitting. I mean, you can factor in commission, just all kind like slippage. I mean, we went freaking deep on this. We didn't just build an algo that says go and stop. We did everything, so somebody can truly. Yeah, I mean, this is a freaking Cadillac. So we're not, and that's how all of the ones that connect to Pine Connector, they're all like that. We don't shirk. But the thing is that if somebody wants the actual code to this, because the only way they're going to be able to connect, to my knowledge, to the broker, I think, is if they have the code, if they get the strategy right. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into that. Whether or not they can actually use the strategy and connect to the broker without having the code. Ideally, looks like the trade closed. Yeah, let's see at the end of this candle. See, there's an automatic close to this trade, that purple right here.
Yeah.
So now this may unpaint. We're going to see at the end of this candle if this is still there. But I developed an algorithmic exit programmed into the trade so that, okay, for example, this prior trade, these are all the targets that got taken. 1, 2, and 3. Very successful trade. In fact, it ended up being about a 2-to-1. So if you put in $1,000, you made 2,000. But had you not taken profits there, it automatically closed way down here. So I developed an algorithmic exit. Now I have tested. Now that would have been like a 5-to-1. I've tested, and for some assets, it's better to let it close for you. With other assets, it's better to just take profit, based on your ATRs, however you do. But this is why we have the strategy tester. I was telling everybody these numbers are not trustable when it comes to the net profit or the, these percent profitable profit factor. They're off. But if you compare these to say the same algo on a different currency pair, or, what I mean? If you compare it to algo or anything like that, they're all pretty much wrong in the same way. So you can tell okay, well, I don't know the exact numbers, but I know that, say, this algo on the GBP JPY is going to perform better than this algo on the EUR USD, right? It's a good tool for being able to estimate what the better scenario is, right? And here we go with the algo in profit. There it is. So, now this would have closed right here, just inside of profit. So basically the algo got a signal saying, it's probably time to get out of here. But, because I'm just kind of testing and I only took a very small trade, I'm actually in profit now, and the candle hasn't closed. So this 148 we have about a minute 48 yet left, and I think that this close entry might unpaint because most of my orders are at the end of the candle. So the algo itself actually looks pretty strong. But anyway, so we're just looking at me like testing algos with live money, on the show. That's what's going on. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it's been an algo weekend. Like if you've been watching over on Twitter, like you've
Yep,
seen
I
me
have.
testing and yeah, so or Twitter X. Sorry, Elon.
I like to stalk you on Twitter, Cowboy.
Oh, I bet you do. Like late at night.
Very late at night.
Dude, getting excited over here. Sorry, get excited. All right, cool. So we got some people watching. That's cool. We're live on X, we're live on YouTube, and that's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and let me see. Should I get out of this trade or just let it run? I don't know. It says to get out. Let me look at the let me look at this.
You need to get out now. Get out! Get out now! What are you waiting for? Do it.
GBP JPY. Let's see what the actual old school panel says. Okay, we're on a high time frame here. Get out! Get out now!
Do it!
Do it! Do it now! It's pretty bearish, dude. I'm out. I got a little profit. I'm gonna take a little money out, but I am closing this trade. Close position. All right, cool. I made myself like I don't know, a few Starbucks worth of money. It's just some little test money, nothing big. Now, had I actually gotten in when it told me to get in, I'd have made a little more money, right? But it's not hooked up like to do that for me, so I had to manually enter, and I was talking, and I've shut all alerts down because, dude, look at all these different alerts. Like on this bottom right, these are all trades right here that happened this morning. Like in the last 10 minutes, this thing is a very generous gifter. So, all right, cool. Well, let's get a little further into. Actually, that was like the whole show was watching me D around with my algos. But I can tell you right now, like the payoff on this is huge. Now it takes time to develop this. It took me a number of years to actually figure out how to really test these, develop them, and have the patience to let them play out. Like one of the biggest problems with trading is people don't have the psychological wherewithal to stick with it. And that's because oftentimes they're not using their own system, or if it is their system, they haven't tested it. But if you actually develop your own system using a particular development method, right? And then you go ahead and let me delete these drugs. And then you go ahead and you know the statistical degree of probability to which your trading method is going to be successful, your algo, right? And when you know that probability because you've gone through, you've tested it, you've back tested it, you've live tested it, yes, that can take weeks or for some people even months. But once you have that down, you're going to have the psychological wherewithal to stick with it. And this is the biggest reason that traders fail, is because they don't stick with it. They come on, they say, Jimmy Joe Trader over in wherever has this method. It's the best method and you get rich overnight. And like they pay $1,300 for this indicator, and then like they've never tested it and it's not theirs and it doesn't have their personality imbued upon it. And so they go ahead and try to trade it and it just doesn't go well for them. They lose money and they stop. They lose 90% of their money in 90 days. And that's what happens to 90% of people, especially in currency trading. And they just quit. They throw up their hands. And this is like the biggest issue with trading. It's the biggest reason that people lose. So if you, it's just it's so counterintuitive. You would think it has to do with, oh, well, I have a good method and this person uses it. Why am I not making money? It's like, well, it's because your psychological game is not on point. And if you come over to Algo Factory, that is one of the biggest things that we do. Trading is your psychological game is as important as anything else in trading. So V, go ahead and by the way, there's a QR code in the top right hand corner. V, let's go ahead and do the send off. We'll move over to private right now.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, join us. Give us 6 months. Let's rock and roll. 2024 is a critical year. And no matter what happens, the way you profit from it is not getting a job over at the Macy's perfume counter. It's not getting a job door dashing. It's learning to trade, learning how to build an algorithm, learning how to execute the algorithm. And we have some amazing services that are coming up ahead at Algo Factory. Join us, be part of a vibrant, intuitive, and intelligent community of traders, and we can make it an absolute difference in your bottom line. AlgoFactory.tech, folks. Trade your job upgrade your life. Scan that QR code. Join the cowboy and the gorilla. Let's get into it.